Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare ఇక్కడ చేసుకోండి మనం డిస్టర్బ్ కావద్దు హరే కృష్ణ హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే రామ హరే రామ 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 హరే హరే కృష్ణ హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే రామ హరే రామ 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 హరే హరే కృష్ణ హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే రామ హరే రామ 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 హరే హరే కృష్ణ హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే రామ హరే రామ 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 హరే Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama, Hare
Ram Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Hare Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
नमो
Hare
ओम
Hare,
विष्णुपादाय
Hare Rama,
कृष्णप्रस्थाय
Hare
भूतले
Rama, Rama
श्रीमती
Rama,
राधानाथ
Hare
स्वामी विरामिनी
Hare
नमो ओम
Krishna, Hare
विष्णुपादाय
Krishna, Krishna
कृष्णप्रस्थाय
Krishna,
भूतले
Hare Hare,
श्रीमती भक्ति
Hare
वेदांत
Rama,
स्वामी
Hare
विरामिनी
Rama, Rama
नमस्ते
Rama,
कारक
Hare
देवे
Hare
गौरवाणी
Krishna,
प्रचारिणे
Hare
निर्विशेष
Krishna, Krishna
शून्यवादी
Krishna,
पाश्चात्य
Hare Hare,
देशकारिणे जय
Hare
श्री कृष्ण
Rama,
चैतन्य
Hare
प्रभु
Rama,
नित्यानंद श्री
Rama
अद्वैत
Rama,
गदाधर
Hare
श्रीवादि
Hare,
गौरभक्त
Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
हरे
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
राम
Hare
हरे
Rama, Hare
हरे कृष्ण
Rama,
कृष्ण
Rama
हरे
Rama, Hare Hare,
राम
Hare
राम हरे
Krishna, Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna,
हरे
Hare Hare, Hare
राम हरे
Rama, Hare Rama,
हरे
Rama
कृष्ण
Rama,
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Hare Hare,
हरे
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
हरे
Rama,
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Hare Krishna, Hare
राम
Krishna,
राम
Krishna
हरे
Krishna, Hare
हरे
Hare,
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
हरे
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
हरे
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
राम हरे
Hare
हरे
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
प्लानिंग करता हूँ
Hare
तुम्हारे
Hare, Hare
राम
Krishna,
राम राम हरे
Krishna Krishna,
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Hare,
हरे कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Rama,
राम राम हरे
Rama
तो
Rama,
स्तोत्र
Hare
हरे
Hare,
कृष्ण
Hare Krishna,
हरे कृष्ण हरे राम
Krishna
राम
Hare
हरे
Hare,
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण हरे
Rama,
राम
Rama
हरे
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
हरे कृष्ण हरे
Krishna
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Hare, Hare
राम हरे
Rama, Rama Hare
हम
Hare,
फोन इसका
Hare Krishna, Krishna
इसका
Krishna,
नेरे
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Chanting.
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
This field,
Rama
flu.
Rama
Well, you
Hare
only, you could
Krishna
clear.
Hare
Can
Krishna
I come and
Krishna
take it?
Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna. Hare
Rama
Krishna. Hare
Hare
Rama.
Krishna
Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna
Hare Rama.
Hare
Rama.
Rama Hare
Hare Krishna.
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna. Hare
Rama
Rama. Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Make up Ram, open this kara. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Sorry, it's not touch without taking that. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna 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 Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Rama Rama
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama Rama Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna
it's
Krishna
not last bit,
Hare
these
Rama
people,
Hare
that's
Rama
not in
Rama
minus.
Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare
Rama Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Rama Rama,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Rama Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Ramesh
Hare
Prabhu.
Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare
please
Rama,
around.
Hare Rama,
స్టార్ట్ చేయండి బాబు మరి నేను
Yeah.
కొంచెంసేపు
Hare Krishna, Hare
చేయడానికి
Krishna,
చదువుతాను ఓకేనా
Hare Rama, Hare
In
Rama,
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Mataji. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prasad Prabhuji, you can continue your chanting. You'll finish your round. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chashkuram Militam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatade Satarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Sivasati Gauravaktabunda Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Hare Rama
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Provision Mata, thank you for joining. So we start. We need to read from here. Prasad Prabhuji, are available or you can once your round finish now, you let me know, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prasad Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Nilima Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yeah, please read. So we are reading from Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, 13th chapter,
Okay.
volume 1, 13th chapter.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Giriraja. Srila Prabhupada took Bombay by storm. The whole city was alive with excitement about the
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
festival.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
We
Hare
had
Krishna,
banners at all the major intersections in Bombay. We had posters up on all the walls. Many posters on every wall, and we had very big achievements in the newspaper with a beautiful pictures of Srila Prabhupada superimposed over a globe, and the words Bhagavad Dharma discourses. A Hare Krishna festival, world preacher of Bhakti cult is Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Day by day, the momentum grew more and more, and every day something new was happening. Finally, in the last 2 days, we got a huge billboard at Victoria train station. the busiest intersection of downtown Bombay. By then, everyone knew so much about the festival and where it was going to be, and everything that all this billboard said was Hare Krishna in huge letters. By then, everyone knew. So just these two huge words, Hare Krishna, was enough. Then Syamasundara had arranged for a big helium filled balloon that was attached to a very long rope at the Maiden site, cross Maidan site. That balloon just hovered over the city, and there was a streamer attached to the balloon saying Hare Krishna Festival. It was real American ingenuity, flair, and dynamism. Inspired by Shyamasundara's lead and taking up a spirit of competition, the other devotees worked at their projects with a great enthusiasm. When Prabhupada called a meeting of all the local ISKCON life members and supporters, the turnout was disappointing. Only about a dozen. And even those on hearing the proportions of Prabhupada's plan became hesitant. The festival would cost more than 100,000 rupees, although some life members doubted whether the devotees could actually execute such a large production. A handful of stalwarts, Sa- Sajivatlal, Chandulal Bahu, Kartikeya, Mahadeviya, Kailasha Seksaria, Ramachand Chabriya, G.D. Somani, and others vowed they would do their best to help raise the funds. Hare Krishna. చదవాలా ప్రభు?
చదవండి మాతాజీ కార్యం.
Prabhupada remained actively involved, and he warned his disciples to be wary of cheaters during their business transactions. Every night the devotees would report to him and he would ask about many details. He wanted the best location, the best work, and the best price. He wanted to know everything. What about the cooking area? Are all the devotees working to their full capacity? Is the mailing list complete? Have the invitations been sent? What about the latrines? What was the cost for the sound system? He scrutinized every detail with sharp critical intelligence. Giriraja's fundraising work was going well. He had donations solicited from businessmen and had printed a souvenir pamphlets. But he was feeling a strain and he come to Prabhupada for solace. Can we use force in Krishna consciousness? He asked. Prabhupada frowned. No, we cannot use force.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Prasad Prabhuji, available to read? Hare Krishna, Prasad Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandatam Prabhuji. Please read, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Prabhupada forwarded. Okay. So, okay. Prabhupada for no, we cannot use force. Okay. But what if we can? We see one of the workers is lazy on the job and not doing what he's supposed to. Okay. No, Prabhupada replied, we can never use force. Well, what about making life members? Okay. Force we cannot use, Prabhupada repeated, but we can trick them. He told a story about a boy who didn't want to do arithmetic. As soon as the teacher wrote 1 plus 1 on the board, the boy would balk. So the teacher drew a picture of a cow on the board and asked the boy, if a man has one cow and then he buys another cow, how many cows we have will he have? The boy answered two. Thus the teacher began teaching his arithmetic, even though he was unwilling to learn. Okay. So the people may be averse to serving Krishna. Prabhupada explained, but we can trick them and get them to serve without their knowing it. Hare Krishna. But we can never use force. These people are all businessmen. They are always calculating profit and loss, but they are also pures and they want to go to Krishna. So you have to convince them that by giving this money, they will gain so much by coming closer to Krishna. And that is the truth. When they are convinced, then they will give. Prabhupada had ordered from Jaipur two sets of large white marble deities, paid by donation from R.D. Birla. One set was installed in the Bombay temple, and the other worshipped at the Pandal, and later sent to one of the temples in the west. But the devotees were anxious that the deities, deities be finished and shipped and shipped on time. And there were other sources of anxiety right up until the very day of the festival. Okay, pandal construction, prasadam distribution, seating arrangements, sound system, whether these things would be ready on time and whether there would be enough money remained uncertain. But under Prabhupada direction, the devotees worked steadily with firm faith in Krishna. Okay. And all turned out successful. With 10,000 people attending the first day and 20,000 that night, the devotees, including those just arrived from the west, numbered about 100, and the large stage easily accommodated them with ample space for dancing kirtans. Outage within a gorgeous golden domed altar surrounded by profuse flower arrangements stood Radha and Krishna. Prabhupada's large red Vyasasana covered by a canopy stood at a stage center. Also on stage was display of Prabhupada books. The tall and spacious pandal, built to hold more than 30,000, was lined with fluorescent bulbs, and the stage glowed with a colorful flashing lights. Chadamantar Prabhu? Okay. The program was Kirtana, Prasadam, a lecture, and slides. More Kirtana and more Prasadam. And the Bombayites, the devotees at heart, despite their sophistication and westernization, loved these very things. Radha and Krishna, Kirtana and Prasadam. And all this was being presented by Westerners made the pandal especially attractive. The cooks prepared prasadam at the pandal site, cooking over a hard coal fire by using a big pandals to stir khichdi and halwa. In works 8 feet across. Each night the devotees would serve thousands of plates.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, चौथा राग किस Prabhuji? Hare Krishna. Yeah. Chandra Prabhuji.
Yeah. Sure, Prabhu. Chapter. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada's appearance in the evening was always the high point. He would sit on his Vyasasana, little Saraswati. Saraswati would walk out and garland him, and the crowd would cheer. He would wait for the crowd to quieten, which never happened. So he would just begin speaking, his voice ringing over the powerful sound system. He titled his first lecture, Modern Civilization is a Failure and the Only Hope is Krishna Consciousness. Prabhupada sat eyes half closed in concentration, addressing the largest audience that had ever assembled to hear him. His speaking was particularly forceful, and as he glorified Krishna and criticized the enemies of Krishna. He spoke against governments that were not Krishna conscious and against gurus who neglected the worship of Krishna. He stressed the necessity of teaching Krishna's message to the whole world, while his god brothers from the Bombay Gaudiya Mutt sat in the audience listening respectfully. And you are practically seeing that all over the world, these Bhagavad Gita principles, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is being accepted. All these boys and girls who are dancing in Krishna consciousness 4 years ago, 4 years back, they never heard of Krishna. Of course, some of them knew Bhagavad Gita because Bhagavad Gita is very widely read. But because Bhagavad Gita was not properly presented, although for the last 100 or 200 or more than that years, Bhagavad Gita is widely read all over the world, and there was not a single Krishna Bhakta. But since Bhagavad Gita is being presented as it is within 4 years, there are hundreds and thousands of Krishna Bhaktas, and that is our point. That you present the being as it is without any adulteration. So it is our mission. It is India's culture. People are hankering after this culture, Krishna culture. So you should prepare yourself to present Bhagavad Gita as it is. Then India will conquer all over the world by this Krishna culture. Rest assured. But we are hankering after help from others. Our government men go there in America. Please give up wheat. Please give us money. Please give us soldiers. Simply begging business. But here is thing which you can give to them. Simply begging does not glorify our country. Giriraja. Prabhupada was preaching forcefully to the people of Bombay, and every evening the pandal was packed with at least 20,000 people. Srila Prabhupada would preach so strongly. Emphasizing the following religious principles. We know that these people are Hindus, but they are not following these principles. Prabhupada was speaking so powerfully that I know that what he was saying would be heard for many of the audience to accept. Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Right.
Madhavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Dandatnam. Please continue, Mataji.
Okay. We have something to give to the whole world. That is Krishna consciousness. Why you neglect this treasure of Vedic knowledge? And the summarized knowledge is Bhagavad Gita. So if we simply try to understand Bhagavad Gita as it is, we understand immediately the science of God. And because we are all parts and parcels of God, we are actually hankering after uniting with God. That is our seeking. Anandamayo Vyasat. God is Anandamaya, by nature full of pleasure, and we being part and parcel of God are Krishna. We are also Anandamaya, but we are seeking Ananda, pleasure, in a different atmosphere, in the material atmosphere. Therefore, we are being baffled. The only remedy is that you take to Krishna consciousness and you will be happy. So, it is the duty of every Indian to understand this science. Giriraja, at that time, I was thinking that if Prabhupada had wanted to flatter the audience or compromise his philosophy, he would have attracted millions of followers. But because he was preaching so boldly and forcefully without compromise, many of the audience did not like it because it was a challenge to their sense gratification and to their sentiment. This is a science. It's not a dogmatic, bluffing thing. It's a science and spoken by the Lord Himself and understood by all the acharyas. Krishna says, Acharyopasanam. We have to understand things through the acharyas. Acharya one, Purusho Veda, one who is not following the footsteps of the acharyas, he can't understand anything. Krishna also says, Tadvijanam, Tadvijananardam. That is said in the Kathopanishad. Tadvijanardam Sagurum Eva Bigachet. Krishna says, Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. So everywhere the same instruction is there. You approach a person who is coming in disciplic succession, Evam Parampara Praptam, and try to learn Bhagavad Gita as it is. your life will be sublime. Your life will be successful. That is our mission. Should I continue, Mataji?
Continue, Mataji.
Yeah. Giriraja, the fact is that people were wild about Prabhupada and ISKCON. One night we showed slides of the Radha Yatra in San Francisco, and the audience was going wild. In front of the 10,000 people, Prabhupada announced that we will hold Jagannath Radha Yatra in Bombay, and everyone started to cheer and applaud. Day after day, the Pandal festival was a success. Bombay's most important citizens came and were impressed. White, white-shirted businessmen and their well-groomed wives joined in the chanting. For hundreds of thousands of Bombay citizens, coming to the Cross Maidan to attend an evening Pandal program was easy enough. Some were intent on listening to the lecture and inquiring deeply into devotional service. Others came mostly to see the deity, take prasadam, or appreciate the kirtana. In any case, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and the Hare Krishna devotees were a refreshing addition to the life of the city. It was the biggest public event in Bombay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Saraswati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandakrishna Mataji. Okay. One evening, Prabhupada conducted a Vedic marriage ceremony and an initiation before thousands of people. The marriage was arranged between Vegavan, who was Swedish, and Padmavati Dasi, who was Australian. They completely enchanted the whole audience. She with her ornate red sari and Indian jewelry, including a nose ring, and he with his nice white dhoti and kurta and clean shaven head. 6 brahmacharis were initiated at that time also. Giriraja, the audience was impressed. First of all, they were amazed just to see foreign devotees, foreign sadhus. Then, on the top of that, to see them being initiated, and even more than that, being married in front of 10,000 people. It was overwhelming. So, during the ceremony, as Srila Prabhupada made the boy and girl husband and wife, he mentioned that she was from Australia and he was from Sweden. Then Srila Prabhupada said, "This is the real United Nation," and everyone burst into applause. It was the most glamorous, wonderful program. The final night of the festival, the devotees carried the deities of Radha and Krishna in a palanquin to the seaside. Prabhupada spoke and held kirtan before a crowd of 25,000. The next day, the Indian Express reported fitting finale to Hare Krishna festival. It was a grand fitting finale to the 11th day Hare Krishna festival, which attracted thousands of devotees at Cross Maidan in South Bombay. The decorated murtis of Radha and Krishna were taken into procession on a regal ratha from the venue through Diragam Road to Chaupati in the evening. Dozens of Nama Sankirtana mandalas from all over the city spearheaded the procession with loud and ecstatic chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, followed by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada in an elegant horse-drawn coach chanting. Crowds chanted Hare Krishna on the roadsides as the Ratha was pulled by the devotees along the route.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Kinchan Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Kinchan Prabhuji.
Krishna, Hare Krishna Mata. Sorry.
Continue, Prabhuji.
At Chaupati, the 4-foot tall deities, splendidly dressed and decorated with jewels and garlands, were displayed on their magnificent Simvasana throne donated to the Hare Krishna movement by Madhav Bhang and Mumba Devi temples. During the celebration, Prabhupada spoke from the Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam daily morning and evening. More than 30 of his foreign disciples conducted Kirtana, Aratika,
and the film shows in the specially erected pandals. Prabhupada will deliver his final public message to the citizens before leaving a few weeks on the preaching tour of the major cities of the Russia. Bombites would not soon forget the Hare Krishna festival, and letter from Prabhupada to the ISKCON life members pledged that it has been only the beginning. By the grace of their lordships of Sri Radha and Krishna and Sri Radha and Krishna, our recent festivals in Cross Maidan exhibition ground has been counted a grand success. And quite noticeably, the spirit of bhakti has been actively revived in Bombay. My blessings go especially to all of you who have joined with us in service. Continue, Yalamata. As you may, yeah, as you may know, my plan is to establish in this most auspicious city a unique international Krishna consciousness training center where hundreds of persons from abroad may be educated in Vedic way of life, while at the same time Indian boys and girls may be trained up for prachar, preaching work in foreign countries. He will he will construct classrooms, workrooms, dormitories, kitchen for the large scale public prasadam distribution, a lecture hall, a library, and a beautiful temple for the glorification of Radha and Krishna. We are on the threshold of bringing this important project to 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 fruition, and we are very excited to inform you the progress made in this respect. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Lalitman Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Srihari Prabhuji, you are available to read?
Yeah, let others read first, Prabhuji. I'll be at the last.
Okay. Srihari Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
చదువుతారా హియరింగ్ మోడ్ ప్రభుజీ
ఎక్కడి నుంచి చదవాలి ప్రభుత్వం ఒకసారి చెప్పండి ఇప్పుడే
మీ వాయిస్ ఇంటర్నెట్ ప్రాబ్లమా
ప్రభుజీ బయటకు వస్తున్నా ఎక్కడి నుంచి చదవమంటారు
ఇక్కడ ఇది హైలైట్ చేశాను కదా ఇక్కడ నుంచి ప్రభుజీ హరే కృష్ణ
విఆర్ ఆన్ ది థ్రెషోల్డ్ దగ్గర నుంచి ప్రభుజీ
ఇక్కడ యూ విల్ గెట్ ఇది ఇక్కడ నుంచి ప్రభుజీ కనిపిస్తుంది
ప్రభుజీ యూ విల్ అగ్రీ విత్ మీ ఈజ్ మై వాయిస్ ఆడిబుల్ ప్రభుజీ
yes ప్రభుజీ
హరే కృష్ణ ఈజ్ మై వాయిస్ ఆడిబుల్
yes
you will agree with me that your active participation and your
ప్రభుజీ అది ఇంటర్నెట్ ఇష్యూ ఉంటుంది ప్రభుజీ ప్రాపర్గా వినిపించలేదు ప్రభుజీ యూ కెన్ బి ఇన్ హియరింగ్ మోడ్ ప్రభుజీ ఇఫ్ నాట్ పాసిబుల్ టు రీడ్ యూ కెన్ బి హియరింగ్ మోడ్ హరే కృష్ణ లలిత్ Lalitman Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. Yeah. Can I read, Prabhu?
Yeah.
You will agree with me that your active participation and your direct involvement in this is most essential. And hence, I appeal to you to spare your valuable time for Krishna and make it a point, in spite of your extremely busy life, to extend your unstinted cooperation. It is proposed to hold a meeting on Monday, 26th April 1971 at 6:30 p.m. Akash Ganga, 7th floor, 89 Bhulabhai Desai Road, Bombay 26, to discuss and to finalize plans to channel our united energies to achieve the goal. It will also be a great opportunity for like-minded Krishna devotees to meet, to have a darshan of the deities and to exchange views and suggestions to make rapid progress in the spiritual life. I very much want to meet you again. So kindly make it a must to attend our meeting. There is a lot of ground to be covered to spread Krishna consciousness to millions and millions of our slumbering brothers and sisters. Thank you, Prabhuji.
చదవండి Prabhuji. ఇంకా చదవండి.
There are a lot of devotees today, Prabhu. I think.
Almost అందరూ అయిపోయారు Prabhuji. Almost అందరూ అయిపోయారు.
Okay. That so many were accepting Krishna, that so many were accepting ISKCON and the Sankirtana movement as a bona fide testified to the purity of Srila Prabhupada's presentation of Lord Krishna's teachings. His teachings were not sectarian. They were meant for everyone, all over the world. He was teaching love of Krishna, the universal principle of all humanity. In his lectures of the Pandal, he had lamented that although India was known as a land of religion, where God consciousness had traditionally permeated society, India's leaders were becoming atheists and communists. Whether Indians polluted by the madness for sense gratification and confused by a hodgepodge of pseudo-religious teachings could still recognize and adapt, the real thing remained to be seen. But at least in Bombay, the Pandal program had had a great effect. Of that, Prabhupada felt satisfied.
Last.
Okay. The program had been same program he had introduced everywhere. Chanting, dancing, taking prasadam, worshipping the deity, hearing about Krishna. It was Lord Chaitanya's program, adapted slightly according to the particular circumstances. But Lord Chaitanya's program nonetheless. Okay. This Sankirtana was the only possible remedy for the disease of modern society. Yet people were reluctant to take the remedy. Prabhupada, therefore, had labeled the bottle. The medicine was unchanged, but he had labeled it attractively. A gala evening of entertainment, music, and refreshments featuring the youth of America and Europe transformed into Vaishnavas. Actually, this is the place where Radhanath Maharaj first came to ISKCON, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
In this Cross Maidan Pandal only, he came to meet Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vani Mataji, are you able to read? Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Vani
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dhanavad Pranam Mataji, please read Mataji from here.
The labeling was simple, non-deceptive. Everyone in Bombay knew well that the Hare Krishna Pandal festival was a product of their own Vedic heritage. They were fully aware that the Hare Krishna leader was a great acharya in the ancient tradition, but it had come to them in such a spectacular and attractive way that they had become caught up in it. Madhu Dvisha. No one really thought Prabhupada was leaving India. In India, Prabhupada was the cutting edge of the whole movement. He was the force. Things were not moving because of Prabhupada. In the Western world, Prabhupada would give the idea and the devotees would expand on it. Prabhupada was the overseer, but he didn't have such an integral active part in the West. But in India, Prabhupada was right in the thick of it. He was checking the accounts. He was so much... one second, Prabhuji, my screen. He was checking the accounts. He was so much involved in the Indian scene that Raj Kumara, the Bombay treasurer, would have to go to Prabhupada every other day and show him the accounts. He was very much involved in everything. The whole movement in India depended on Prabhupada. Because of this, no one thought that Prabhupada would really leave us.
Thank you, Mataji. 1 minute. Giraj Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. We have completed this chapter. You can read one more chapter from this. Hare Krishna, Giraj Prabhuji. We'll read one more chapter. That's we are doing. Vani Mataji, you can continue. Chapter 34. Jet Age Parivajakacharya. Hare Krishna, Vani Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Chapter 34, Jet Age Parivajakacharya. Kacharya. Okay. Is this a letter or what, Prabhuji? Looks like a letter. May 1971. Okay, fine. Srila Prabhupada prepared for extensive world travel. Although his itinerary was indefinite, his general plan was to travel widely for a few months, then tour the US, visit London, and then return to India. He had sent disciples to Australia and Malaysia and wanted to visit them. He also wanted to go to Moscow and was waiting a letter of permission from the Soviet government. As he had spread his movement in America, visiting major cities and preaching them, stationing at a few faithful disciples there to carry on, he now expanded his field to include the whole world. Srila Prabhupada's traveling was in the mood of Narada Muni, the eternally wandering devotee. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada had translated Narada Muni's words. I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied and without being proud or envious. I do travel everywhere by the grace of the Almighty, Vishnu, either in the transcendental world or in the three divisions of the material world without any restriction, because I am fixed upon, unbroken in the devotional service of the Lord. I do travel as above mentioned by constantly singing the glories of the Lord in transcendental message, by vibrating the instrument of Veena, charged with transcendental sound and given to me by Lord Krishna. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody is there to read Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. I think everybody has done. Giresh Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, are you there? I'll read. And in this Bhagavatam purport, Srila Prabhupada had explained, it is a duty of mendicant to have experience of all varieties of God's creation as Paribrajakacharya, or traveling alone through all forest, hills, towns, village, etc. to gain faith in God and strength of mind, as well as to enlighten the inhabitants of the message of God. A sannyasi is duty bound to take all this risk without any fear, and the most typical sannyasi of present age is Lord Chaitanya, who travel in the same manner through the central India jungles, enlightening even tigers, bears, snakes, deers, elephants, and many other jungle animals. In this age of Kali, Prabhupada had explained sannyasa is especially difficult. If, however, one did take sannyasa, one who may take the vow of renunciation of family life may not imitate the Paribrajakacharyas like Narada or Lord Chaitanya, but may sit down at some holy place and devote the whole time and energy in hearing and repeatedly chanting the holy scriptures left by the great acharyas like 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Yet, Prabhupada was traveling as a mendicant missionary, Parivrajacharya, having already attained the advanced stage wherein the pure devotee resides in Vrindavana and chant Hare Krishna incessantly. He was now traveling for the good of the whole world. He, like Narada, was traveling to all parts of the whole world. As a news writer in India had appropriately titled him, he was a jet age Parivrajacharya. Yeah, a few brahmacharis, each only recently initiated by Srila Prabhupada, had been preaching alone on the tropical peninsula of Malaysia for several months. With nearly 1 million Indians in Malaysia, many of them are wealthy and influential. The brahmacharis were meeting with success. During one program at Hindu temple in Kuala Lumpur, a South Indian doctor and his lawyer wife expressed their appreciation of the devotees and offered a donate to a house and some land to ISKCON. When the devotee visited the property and found that offer was serious, they informed Prabhupada, who dedicated to visit. sorry, who decided to visit. Hare Krishna Prasad Prabhuji, you want to read?
Okay, Prabhu. Chadaman Chat. Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. Sure. Prabhupada, accompanied by his disciple, okay, Vegavan, okay, flew from Bombay to Kuala Lumpur. Since he planned to go next to Sydney and install Radha Krishna deities in the new temple, then he carried deities with him. The same Radha and Krishna who had presided at the Bombay Pandal. Lord Krishna rode in a wooden box in the plane's luggage compartment, and Srimati Radharani wrapped in a cloth rested on Vegan's lap, Vegavan's lap. Within a brief time after Prabhupada arrival in Kuala Lumpur, he was lectured before a large audience at his host home. Okay, I am glad to inform you that we have been reached Malaysia very shortly. That on my arrival was a nice meeting, and then we have come outside the city. Yesterday I was busy all the day. Okay, for 2 days, Prabhupada stayed in the home of wealthy Siddhi merchant of Kuala Lumpur. The house was large and luxurious, okay, with a thick carpets and large mirrors. But when Prabhupada learned that his hosts were meat eaters, he refused to eat anything except fruit and milk, even though his disciples offered to cook for him. His disciples, having traveled throughout Malaysia, considered eating at homes of meat eaters permissible, as long as the devotees could prepare their prasadam in pots, not used for the cooking meat. But Prabhupada's standard was higher. One room in the house held a large collection of marble deities, about 50 sets of Lakshmi Narayana and Radha Krishna deities in rows. It appeared to be more of a collector's display than worship. However, and Prabhupada was unimpressed. Mm. Prabhupada lectured at a Kuala Lumpur town hall in the Lakshmi Narayana temple, mostly to Indians. He explained the people could be united only on the spiritual platform. Look at the United Nations, he said. They are doing more and more flags, and they are only more and more wars. This Krishna conscious movement will be real United Nations. Prabhupada had brought with him slides of ISKCON's activities, and he had one of the one of his disciple narrate a slideshow, coaching him on what to say. When a slide appeared of Radha Yatra in London's Trafalgar Square, Prabhupada prompted the devotee. Now it is no more Lord Nelson. Now it is Lord Jagannatha. Okay. See, Giriraj Prabhu want to read and Konda Prabhu. Okay, the message. I want to read Prabhuji's text next. Okay, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Prabhupada, Sadhana Prabhu.
Sorry. Yeah, we'll give it to someone, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Giresh Prabhuji, please read. Prabhuji.
34 chapters, Rajesh Prabhu.
34th Prabhuji.
Right. Thank you, Prabhu. When Prabhupada met the couple offering the land, he discovered that the agreement had certain important conditions. The doctor and his wife said that they would give ISKCON a large piece of land near the main highway and that their own construction company would build the temple. Within 2 years, however, if the company hadn't completed the building, the doctor and his wife would reclaim the property. Always eager to consider any serious donation of land, Prabhupada accepted the conditional offer, but he knew that such offers were usually too conditional. Already, the doctor and his wife had hinted of Indian Brahmanas running the temple and of ISKCONs having only a side altar. One evening, as Prabhupada talked with the doctor, a gynecologist, the talk turned to birth control. Prabhupada explained its sinfulness, and he gave an example. If someone poisoned the air in the room he and the doctor were sitting in, then they would have to leave the room or die. Similarly, Prabhupada explained contraception meant to poison the womb, denying a soul its rightful shelter. Like Prabhupada's previous host, the doctor,
ఒక్కసారి చెప్పరా బాబు? అర్థం కాదు ఈ sentence.
bro,
ఇక్కడ
Prabhupada explained contraception meant to poison the womb, denying a soul its rightful shelter. అంటే ఇప్పుడు కాంట్రసెప్షన్ అంటే తెలుసు కదా ప్రభు, ఏంటంటే మన గర్భ నిరోధక మాత్రలు తెలుగులో అంటారు మనం, గర్భ నిరోధక మాత్రలు, కిల్లింగ్ ద
Okay.
సోల్ యూనో ఇన్సైడ్ ద బాడీ. యాక్చువల్గా కిల్లింగ్ ద సోల్ అనే క్వశ్చన్ లేదు, బట్ ఆ రైట్ఫుల్ క్లెయిమ్ ఏదైతే ఆ సోల్ కు కావాల్సిందో ఆ బాడీ స్టాప్ చేస్తున్నారు ఫోర్స్ఫుల్లీ,
Okay.
denying a soul its rightful shelter. Like
Right.
Prabhupada, previous host, the doctor ate meat. And అబార్షన్ అంటారు ప్రభు, బేసికల్ గా అబార్షన్ చేస్తారు కదా ఇలా. మెయిన్ గా యుఎస్ లో చాలా చూస్తాం ఇట్లాంటిది. ప్రభుపాద రిటర్న్ యాక్చువల్లీ సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద ఇన్ ద స్మాల్ బుక్స్. అబార్షన్ ఈజ్ వన్ హైయెస్ట్ సిన్ఫుల్ యాక్టివిటీ, అండ్ దెన్ కౌ కిల్లింగ్. ఇక్కడ మనుషులనే చంపుతున్నారు అనమాట, అక్కడ సాధు జంతువులను చంపుతున్నారు మిషన్లు పెట్టేసి. సో అవి రెండు ప్రభుపాదని హార్ట్ మెల్టింగ్ అందుకే లెఫ్ట్ అండ్ రైట్ రాస్తానే ఉంటాడు, తిడతానే ఉంటాడు, రాస్కెల్స్, ఫూల్స్, ఈడియట్స్. The Prabhupada's previous host, the doctor, ate meat, although the devotees had been pushing him to give it up. Prabhupada was gentle, try to stop eating meat. He urged. It was Ekadasi, and Prabhupada decided to fast from all food, again showing extreme reluctance to eat in the home of a meat eater. Sydney, 1971, May 9. The Sydney devotees weren't ready for Prabhupada. An early telegram had informed them he was coming, but a later telegram had said, Prabhupada not coming now. A third telegram had come, announcing that Balimardana, the Australian GBC secretary, was coming. When a fourth telegram had stated only arriving and the date and flight number, the devotees had presumed this referred to as Balimardana, not to Prabhupada. The devotees had taken a small garland and had gone to meet the plane. And when the doors to the customs area opened and Prabhupada himself walked out, they were flabbergasted. A wide attache case in his left hand, a cane in his right, a lightweight chadara around his shoulders. Srila Prabhupada entered the airport. Reporters on hand to interview Balimardana came eagerly forward, one of them inquiring why Prabhupada had come to Australia. Replying softly, Prabhupada said he traveled everywhere, just as a salesman travels everywhere. A salesman looks for customers wherever he can find them, and Prabhupada was traveling, searching for anyone intelligent enough to accept his message. So, Prabhupada is the very biggest salesman. ఎట్లా సేల్స్ చేసిన ఎట్లా make them nice devotees. There is no difference in coming to Australia. You said the government have made a demarcation. This is Australia, but we see everywhere as a land of Krishna. One of the devotees hurried to phone the temple. Prabhupada was coming. So thank you, Prabhuji. New York City అని చెప్తున్నారు. 26 Second Avenue, New York City. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
చంద్రబాబు ప్రభుజీ చదువుతారా హరే కృష్ణ?
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
చదవండి. 2 paragraphs. Yeah. Give
Okay.
to chance.
Like Prabhupada's original temple at 26 Second Avenue in New York, the Sydney temple was a one-room storefront on a main business thoroughfare. On the storefront's place glass window, one of the devotees had painted a picture of Radha and Krishna. Prabhupada entered the room and found it bare, except for a simple wooden altar with the 3-inch Jagannath deities and a big cloth-covered Yasasana. An old rug hit the floor. The blue haze hanging in the air was smoke from the downstairs kitchen, where a devotee was frantically burning cumin seeds to spice Prabhupada's lunch.
Prabhupada remained grave as he walked deliberately to the rear door.
I think he left the call. Yeah, Nilima Mataji, you can read these 2 paragraphs. Hare Krishna. Nilima Mataji,
Hare
are you
Krishna,
there?
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna Prabhu. Dhanavad.
yeah. The రెండు చదవండి Mataji, 2 paragraphs.
Prabhupada remained grave as he walked deliberately to the rear door and looked outside. But when he saw నిమిషం ప్రభుజీ స్క్రీన్ చిన్నగా అయితలేదు. When he saw garbage and boards stacked high against the building, his gravity turned to sternness. What is all this? He asked. Someone tried to explanation. Unsatisfactory. A devotee brought a glass of milk too hot. Prabhupada said, and the devotee took it away. Prabhupada sat on the large Vyasasana. He looked around the room at each face. None of the 15 or so devotees had ever seen him before, and only a handful had been initiated by mail. They were untrained. The carpet was dirty. He said it should be replaced. And why were there no flowers on the altar? He had brought Radha and Krishna deities, but before the devotees could begin their worship, everything must be very clean. The devotees would have to become Brahmanas before they could worship Radha and Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
చదవాలా ప్రభు?
Thank you. We'll give to someone, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Madhai Mataji, are you available to read? Madhai Mataji?
Prabhu, nanu pisara.
మిమ్మల్ని మాధవి మాతాజీ. హరే కృష్ణ సరస్వతి మాతాజీ.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
యా మాధవి మాతాజీ చదువుతారా?
చదువుతాను ప్రభుజీ.
You can read 2 paragraphs, Mataji.
Yeah. These devotees, Prabhupada saw, knew little of Krishna consciousness. The devotees who had come to Australia originally, Upendra and Bali Mardana, had opened the center and left, returning but rarely. Thus, an entire temple of inexperienced devotees had been virtually left on its own. Since none of the Sydney devotees could lecture well, the daily classes had consisted of readings from Prabhupada's abridged Bhagavad Gita as it is, the only book they had. Yet their firm faith in Prabhupada compensated for their lack of training. They accepted him as a pure devotee, directly in touch with God, and they accepted his books as truth and Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But many practical things they did not know, such as how to cook, lecture, and worship the deities. The people of Sydney and this they did daily. Despite frequent arrests, they continued with their Sankirtana. Sincerity they had, they only lacked training. A devotee brought Prabhupada his lunch poorly cooked, the chapatis half burnt, half raw, the vegetables wrongly spiced. Prabhupada rebuked the cook. If you did not know how to cook, why didn't you tell me? I can show you. And he went into the kitchen. One of the cooks had tried to make kachoris and had failed, although she knew that the dough had to be rolled thin, the filling put in just right, and then the edges folded more preciously. Neither she nor any of the other devotees had been able to do it. Prabhupada, using the same dough and filling, demonstrated the art and made perfect kachoris. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. Saraswati Mataji, you can read these 2 paragraphs, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. The devotees explained the difficulties in making chapatis. There was no flame on their electric stove. The chapatis always came out dry or raw or burnt and never puffed up. The excuse only annoyed Prabhupada. However, who showed exactly how to make chapatis, thus puffed up every time, even on an electric burner. Then he taught the cooks a simple vegetable dish, advising as he cooked. After he left the kitchen, the devotees tried the chapatis again. They wouldn't puff. It seemed a magical art only Prabhupada knew. Srila Prabhupada had his reason for bringing Radha and Krishna to Australia, some of them apparent, others so deep that only he and Radha and Krishna could understand them. Of course, he was always expanding his movement, of which deity worship was an important part. So that was one reason for bringing Radha and Krishna to Australia to strengthen the devotees and establish more solidly his movement there. And Prabhupada loved these deities. They had presided over the Bombay Pandal, and when they hadn't been on stage, he had kept them in his room, where he could look at them during the day. He had brought them from Bombay to Malaysia to Sydney, and now he proposed to install them in this fledgling ISKCON center. But the infinite purity of his heart and the depth of his determination to risk anything for their lordship, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, are unfathomable. Sri Prabhupada's activities are most grave, and their deeper meaning eludes an observer of Lord Chaitanya. Krishnadas Kaviraja wrote, I do not know the deep meaning of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities. I am just trying to describe them externally. When
Thank you.
Prabhupada came, thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
We'll give to someone. Hare Krishna, Akinchan Prabhuji, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm there. I'm there,
Please
Prabhu.
read these two paragraphs, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhu. When Prabhupada came to the temple to perform the initiation ceremony and deity installation, the devotees weren't ready. Only one small vase of flowers decorated the almost bare altar, and all the devotees had not made garlands for the deities. Prabhupada was displeased. The small temple was packed, however, and the guests and the devotees crowded the open doorway and peered through the front window. TV crews filmed the action under hot la- lamps. While devotees hurriedly strung garlands for the deities, Prabhupada performed the initiation ceremony. There were 15 initiates in all. To some devotees, he gave the first initiation, to some second initiation, and to others both first and second. Then he lovingly bathed the forms of Radha and Krishna and performed the fire sacrifice. While dressing the deities, he remarked that their clothes had been poorly made and that the devotees should make new ones immediately. He named the deities Sri Sri Radha Gopinatha.
Thank you,
Continue,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
okay. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Vani Mataji, are you available? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Vani Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Sautara
Prabhuji.
Mataji. Yeah, two
Chal.
paragraphs.
Yeah.
It is two.
Vaibhavi. He initiated everyone in the temple, anyone who was there, even one boy who had just joined that week and uh, had only come across Krishna consciousness the week before, and people who weren't living in the temple. Just anyone who was there and somehow serving. He wanted Krishna consciousness to be established in Australia, so he just initiated everybody. He gave first and second initiations at the same time because having installed the deities, there had to be some brahmanas. But we didn't know anything. We weren't even ready. The altar wasn't finished. Prabhupada explained that to me that we had to string flowers for a garland. The deity was supposed to wear one. I was running up and down the street trying to find some flowers and get some thread and make a garland. Same with the sacred thread. There was no sacred thread. Prabhupada gave the men a sacred thread at Brahmana initiation, but no one really knew what it was. So I had to run and buy some string. And while Prabhupada was initiating people, I was sitting there at the arena making sacred threads, copying the one that Bali Mardana had taken off himself.
Thank you, Mataji. Correct.
Thank you.
Krishna Prabhu, I made 5 of them, and then I was next. After the sacrifice, and after I came out of Prabhupada's room, where he had given me the Gayatri mantra, the other devotee said, "You are a Brahmana now, so you have to have a sacred thread too." They told me to make one for myself, which I did not, because someone told me later a woman was not supposed to wear one. We just did not know much. At Sydney Grammar School, an elite school for boys, Prabhupada led his disciples and a group of students in a Kirtana procession through the schoolyard. About 200 boys and several teachers took part. Some children proclaimed and laughing, some singing the mantra, some soberly following the procession. As the teacher smiled and watched, the procession ended in a large room with a row of chairs. In the front of Prabhupada sat in the headmaster's elaborately curved throne-like seat in the center and began playing kartals. Continuing the chanting of Hare Krishna, seeing only a few students responding, he stopped and looked around at the children sitting before him. "So you are all beautiful boys. Why you do not join us in chanting Hare Krishna? It is very difficult. Will you not try to chant Hare? Say Hare." A few children, Hare. Prabhupada, all of you chant Hare. The children weakly, Hare. Some giggled. Prabhupada led them through the mantra, one word at a time. Still, some children were reticent. Prabhupada, there are only 3 words, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. It is very difficult. Chant again, Hare, Hare. Children, Hare. Teasing and prodding Prabhupada quacks at them. "Oh, you cannot chant. You are all dumb." The children broke into laughter. "How is that? 3 words you cannot chant? Oh, that is very agonizing. Chant Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna." Can I continue?
Yeah, we just stop here.
Prabhupada began rhythmically ringing his kartal, the children following him as he sang Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. After a short time, Prabhupada brought the Kirtana to a close. Sitting in the beautiful ornate chair, he smiled at the children. 3 words, Hare Krishna, Hare and Rama. "Do you know what is God? Can any of you stand up and tell me what is God?" There was silence, then whispering. Finally, one 12-year-old boy stood. His schoolmates applauded and laughed. "Oh, thank you," Prabhupada said. "Come here." The boy approached. "Do you know what is God?" Prabhupada asked. Yes, the boy replied. "God is self-realization, and God is found in the unconscious mind." Thank you. Again, the children applauded. No, wait. Yeah.
We'll read from this one tomorrow. We stop here.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Mataji, thank you for joining today's call. Lalitman Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. We'll stop here, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
We'll stop here, Prabhuji. It's already 9, 10, 11. You need to read from there. Sloka, ఏంటి Prabhuji? నిన్నటిదేనా Prabhuji?
Yeah, yesterday's over, no, Prabhuji. So today we will go with the Savai Mana Krishna.
Savai Mana Krishna, Prabhuji. ఏ శ్లోక Prabhuji ఎక్కడది?
ఇది మన అది యాంకర్ శ్లోకాలు ఉన్నాయి మీ దగ్గర లేదంటే 9th క్యాంటో ప్రభుజీ 9th క్యాంటో
ప్రభుజీ షేర్ చేశారు గిరీష్ ప్రభుజీ షేర్ చేశారా 9th క్యాంటో
లేదు ఆయన చేసారో తెలియదు ఆయన యాక్చువల్లీ ఇన్వాల్వ్ ఉండట్లేదు కదా ఆయన 4 రోజుల నుంచి
ఓకే
ప్రభు 9th 4 చూడండి ప్రభుజీ
9th క్యాంటో
4th చాప్టర్ 9/4 2021 18-21 ఉంటుంది కదా అది 24-28 ఉంటాయి SB 9/4 కాదు, దీని ముందుకెళ్ళండి. అయితే అదే ఈ శ్లోక బిఫోర్ శ్లోకకి వెళ్ళండి. అంతే 20 నొక్కండి. ఓకే. సో ప్రభు ఓ పని చేయండి, ఇందాక వెళ్ళారు కదా 21 ప్రీవియస్ శ్లోక, అదే ఇంకా దీని కిందకి వెళ్ళి బిఫోర్ నొక్కు. వచ్చింది. ఇదే సో
18 to 20 ప్రభు, ఇదేనా? 18 to 20
అంతే ప్రభు, 3 శ్లోకాలు ఉంటాయి. ఓకే, మనకి యాక్చువల్లీ Prabhu, just before going into the slokas, I just wanted to give an introduction of this personality, Ambarish Maharaj. So, how many of you know who is Ambarish Maharaj? ఎంతమంది తెలుసు actually who is Ambarish Maharaj and all?
I'm just sharing my screen. I'm going away from screen. Is it okay, right?
Yeah, that will be okay, Prabhu. So, I'm just asking a question to everyone. How many of you know who is Ambarish Maharaj?
విన్నాం ప్రభు.
విన్నారా అంటే? Do you know the background of him?
ఆయన
మనకి ఎప్పుడైనా అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ అంటే ఏం తెలుస్తుంది అంటే అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ అండ్ దుర్వాస ముని పాస్ట్ టైం, ఇంతకన్నా ఇంకేమైనా తెలుసు?
అది సుదర్శన
రోజు చేస్తారు,
ఏకాదశి వ్రతం చేస్తారు.
దుర్వాస మునిని ఫాలో చేస్తూ ఉంటది. సో అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ ని దుర్వాస ముని ఎక్కువ టెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నారని చెప్పి ఒకరోజు, సో దట్ ఈస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ స్టోరీ ప్రభు. సరిగ్గా
ఈ పాస్ట్ టైం కన్నా ఇంకా యాక్చువల్లీ దీనికన్నా ఇంకేమైనా తెలుసు అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ గురించి? ఈ ఒక్క పాస్ట్ టైం మనకు తెలుస్తుంది, ఎందుకంటే భాగవతంలో ఉంటది కాబట్టి. బట్ హూ ఈజ్ యాక్చువల్లీ అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్? భాగవతంలో అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ ఎందుకు వస్తాడో తెలుసా? ఆయన భక్తి కోసం వస్తాడు. బట్ బిఫోర్ దట్ యాక్చువల్లీ విచ్ లీనియేజ్ హీ కమ్స్ ఫ్రమ్, ఆయన ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తాడంటే ఈయన కూడా సూర్యవంశం యొక్క రాజు అనమాట. ఓకేనా? భాగవతం ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ 6 క్యాంటోస్ దేని గురించి మాట్లాడద్ది? స్వయంభువ మనువు వాళ్ళ పుత్రుల గురించి మాట్లాడద్ది అనమాట అంతా కూడా. ఓకేనా? 7th, 8th, 9th క్యాంటోస్ ఏంటి అంటే సూర్యవంశం యొక్క రాజుల గురించి మాట్లాడుద్ది, 8th, 9th ఎస్పెషల్లీ. ఓకేనా? 6th, 7th అంతా ఏంటంటే మొత్తం మన దాన్ని ఏమంటారు, అజామిల పాస్ట్ టైమ్, దేవుడు అసీమ కృప చూపిస్తారు చూసారా, అట్లాంటి పాస్ట్ టైమ్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడుద్ది అనమాట 6th క్యాంటో. 7th క్యాంటో అంతా నరసింహదేవ్ పాస్ట్ టైం. 8th క్యాంటో, 9th క్యాంటో వచ్చేసరికి మొత్తం అంతా సూర్యవంశ రాజుల గురించి, చంద్రవంశ రాజుల గురించి మాట్లాడుద్ది అనమాట. హరే కృష్ణ. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So, ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ సూర్యవంశ రాజుల గురించి మాట్లాడుతూ సూర్యుడి యొక్క కొడుకు ఒక మను ఉన్నాడు అనమాట.
రాజు ప్రభుజీ మ్యూట్ చేయండి అందరినీ. లలిత్ మోహన్ ప్రభుని చేయండి. థింక్ స్వాతి చల్సాని వాళ్ళ దగ్గర నుంచి వస్తుంది మనకి డిస్టర్బెన్స్.
ఏంటంటే యాక్చువల్లీ మనువుల గురించి మాట్లాడతారనమాట భాగవతంలో. ఓకే, భాగవతంలో మెయిన్లీ 3 మనువుల గురించి మాట్లాడతారు. ఒకటి ఏంటి అంటే స్వయంభువ మనువు, ఆయన భక్తుడు కాబట్టి ఆయన యొక్క ఫ్యామిలీ గురించి మాట్లాడతారు. స్వయంభువ మనువు ఒక కొడుకు ప్రియవ్రత ముని. ఈ ప్రియవ్రత మహారాజ్ యొక్క కొడుకు మనవలు ఒకటేంటంటే చాక్షుష మను ఉంటాడనమాట. సో ఆ 2 మనువులు అయిపోయాక నెక్స్ట్ దేని గురించి డిస్కస్ చేస్తారంటే వైవస్వత మను, అంటే సూర్యవంశం గురించి మాట్లాడతారు. ఎందుకు మాట్లాడతారు? సూర్యవంశంలో వచ్చిన రాజులు మహా గొప్ప గొప్ప భక్తులు ఉంటారనమాట. అందుకని ఆ సూర్యవంశం గురించి డిస్క్రైబ్ చేస్తారనమాట. ఆ సూర్యుడు యొక్క కొడుకు ఎవరు అంటే వివస్వాన్ అని ఒక మనిషి ఉంటాడు, కొడుకు ఉంటాడు. అతన్నే వివస్వాన్ మను అని అంటారనమాట. అతను కూడా ఒక మను. ఓకే, సో అతని యొక్క పుత్రుడు ఎవరు అంటే నభగ. వివస్వానికి చాలా మంది పుత్రులు ఉంటారు. ఒక పుత్రుడి పేరు నభగ, ఇంకొక పుత్రుడి పేరు ఏంటంటే మన ఇక్ష్వాకు రాజుల నుంచి వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు ఎవరు? లాస్ట్ ఎక్కడికి వస్తారు వాళ్ళు? శ్రీరాముడు వస్తాడనమాట అందులో. ఓకే, అలాగే నభగ నుంచి నాభాగ వస్తాడు. నాభాగ యొక్క కొడుకు ఎవరు అంటే మనం ఇప్పుడు డిస్కస్ చేసుకోబోయే రాజు అనమాట. ఎవరితను? అంబరీష్. ఓకే, అర్థమైంది? లీనియేజ్ అర్థమైందా? ఎవరితను? సూర్యవంశుల యొక్క రాజు అనమాట. సూర్యవంశుల యొక్క కొడుకు, సూర్యుడి కొడుకు ఎవరు? వైవస్వత మను. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి ఇది. ఓకే, మనం ఇప్పుడు ప్రస్తుతం నడిచే మన్వంతరి కూడా వైవస్వత మన్వంతరే. అర్థమైందా?
సూర్య భగవానుడు వివస్వం కదా ప్రభుజీ?
అవును, వివస్వం సూర్యదేవుడి
మను అంటారు ప్రభు.
వైవస్వత మను అంటే వేరు,
వివస్వాన్ని వైవస్వత మన్వంతర అని అంటారు.
ఓకే,
ఓకేనా? ప్రస్తుతం మనకు నడిచే మన్వంతరం కూడా వైవస్వత మన్వంతరమే.
ఇప్పుడు అవును, వైవస్వత మన్వంతరం.
అందుకనే టెంపుల్స్ కి ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళినా మీరు వైవస్వత మన్వంతరం ఆ ప్లేస్ లో మీరు మీ పొజిషన్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ చెప్తారన్నమాట భగవంతుడికి. ఈడెక్కడికి వచ్చాడు భగవంతుడు ముందరికి అని. ఓకేనా? సో మనం ఇప్పుడు వచ్చే మన్వంతరం ఏంటి? ఇప్పుడు జరిగే మన్వంతరం ఏంటి?
వైవస్వత మన్వంతరం.
వైవస్వత మన్వంతరం. బీ వెరీ క్లియర్ ఆఫ్ దిస్. ఈ వైవస్వత ఎవరు కొడుకు? సూర్యుడు కొడుకు. ఓకే, వివస్వాన్ కొడుకు అనమాట. ఈ వైవస్వతికి చాలా మంది పుత్రులు ఉంటారు. అందులో ఒక పుత్రుడి పేరేంటి? నభగ. ఓకే, నభగ కొడుకు నాభాగ. ఓకే, నాభాగ యొక్క కొడుకు ఎవరు అంటే మనం ఇప్పుడు చదువుకోబోయే రాజు అనమాట. ఎవరతను? అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్. యాక్చువల్లీ ఈ డిస్కషన్ అంతా ఎందుకు ఇస్తున్నానంటే, అంబరీష్ మహారాజు యాక్చువల్లీ చక్రవర్తి అనమాట. మొత్తం ప్రపంచాన్ని వెళ్ళేంత చక్రవర్తి అతను. ఇతను చక్రవర్తి ఎలా అవుతాడు అంటే తెలుసా? జనరల్ గా మనకి అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ ఏంటంటే అతని భక్తి గురించి తెలుసు మనకి. అతను ఎంత మహాభక్తుడు. అతని భక్తికి ఏంటంటే దుర్వాసముని కూడా వచ్చి కాళ్ళ మీద పడతాడనమాట. మహాయోగి అయిన దుర్వాసముని వచ్చి కాళ్ళ మీద పడిపోతాడు. భక్తి అంత గొప్పదనమాట. దాని గురించి మనకి అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ తెలుసు. కానీ ఇంకొక ఉన్న క్వాలిటీ ఏంటంటే యుక్త వైరాగ్యం. ఓకే, ఎప్పుడన్నా మనకి కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్నెస్ లో కానీ ఎక్కడన్నా మీకు యుక్త వైరాగ్యం గురించి టాపిక్స్ తీసుకున్నారనుకోండి, ఫస్ట్ ఈయన గురించి వస్తుందన్నమాట. ఎవరి గురించి? అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ గురించి. ఓకే, ఎందుకు ఈ టాపిక్ వస్తే యుక్త వైరాగ్యం వస్తుంది అంటే, మనకి ఎన్ని రిచెస్ ఉన్నా కూడా మనం దానికి అటాచ్ అవ్వకుండా ఉండాలనేది ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఎవరు అంటే అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్. ఇతని గొప్పతనం చూడండి. నా భాగం ఉంటాడు కదా వీళ్ళ తండ్రి, ఇతనికి ఏం చెప్తాడంటే, నువ్వు వెళ్ళి తపస్సు చేసుకోరని ఆయన అంటాడు అన్నమాట. తండ్రి నియమాన్ని పాలించి ఇతను ఏం చేస్తాడు? తపస్సు చేయడానికి వెళ్ళిపోతాడు. యాక్చువల్లీ తపస్సు చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటాడు. ఇతను వచ్చేలోపు మిగతా కొడుకులు ఉంటారు నలుగురు నాభాగ్కి. ఓకే, వాళ్ళందరూ ఏం చేస్తారంటే తండ్రి యొక్క రాజ్యాన్ని ఈక్వల్ గా పనిచేసుకుంటారు అనమాట. ఇతను ఇంకా లేడు అని. తపస్సు అయిపోయాక అతని తండ్రి గారు అతనికి ఇచ్చిన ఆజ్ఞ మేరకు తపస్సు చేసి అతని యొక్క గడువు అయిపోయినాక వస్తాడు అనమాట ఇతను వెనక్కి. వచ్చి ఏం చేస్తాడు? తండ్రిని అడుగుతాడనమాట, అయ్యా నన్ను తపస్సు చేయమన్నావు, నేను చేశాను ఇప్పుడు. కానీ నా స్వభావం ఏంటంటే క్షత్రియ స్వభావం. ఎందుకంటే నేను నీకు పుట్టాను కాబట్టి. సో నాకు ఇప్పుడు రాజ్యం అనేది ఉండాలి ఏలడానికి. కానీ నాకు రాజ్యం లేకుండా మా అన్నదమ్ములు చేశారు, నన్ను ఏం చేయమంటావు అని అంటాడనమాట. ఓకే, అప్పుడు నా భాగం ఏమంటాడు తెలుసా? యు గో టు ద సెక్లూషన్ అండ్ చాంట్ దీస్ 2 మంత్రాస్ అని 2 మంత్రాలు ఇస్తాడనమాట. అంబరీష్ ఆ మంత్రాలను, అది విష్ణుమూర్తి యొక్క మంత్రాలు యాక్చువల్లీ. ఓకే, అవి జపిస్తూ ఉంటే ఎవరు వస్తారో తెలుసా? బ్రహ్మ అండ్ శివ విల్ కమ్ అండ్ ఆల్ ద డెమిగాడ్స్ విల్ కమ్. ఇతని ప్యూరిటీని చూసనమాట. అండ్ దెన్ ది విల్ ఆస్క్, వాళ్ళు అడుగుతారనమాట, నీకేం కావాలి నాయన? అయ్యా కొంచెం రాజ్యం కావాలి నాకు, ఎందుకంటే నేను క్షత్రియుణ్ణి, నేను పాలించాలి, నా కుల ధర్మాన్ని నేను పాటించాలి, అందుకని నాకు కొంచెం ఇవ్వండి అయ్యా అంటాడు అనమాట. వీళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారు తెలుసా? మొత్తం భూమండలాన్ని మొత్తం ఇచ్చేస్తారనమాట ఈయనకి. ఎందుకంటే హీఈస్ ద రైట్ఫుల్ హైర్. ఈయనకి మొత్తం దే విల్ ప్రొవైడ్ హిమ్ ఆల్ ద ఆర్మీస్ టు డిఫీట్ హిస్ ఓన్ బ్రదర్స్. వీళ్ళ బ్రదర్స్ ని ఎందుకు డిఫీట్ చేస్తాడంటే ధర్మాన్ని కాపాడడానికి డిఫీట్ చేస్తాడు, కానీ రాజ్యం కోసం కాదన్నమాట. అలా డిఫీట్ చేసి రాజు అవుతాడు. ఇతను ఏ ప్లేస్ లో రాజు అవుతాడంటే అయోధ్య నుంచి సింధు దాకా. ఓకే, ఈ ప్లేస్ దాకా ఇతనికి ఇనిషియల్ రాజ్యం ఇస్తుంది. ఆ తర్వాత చక్రవర్తి అవుతాడు అనమాట. మొత్తం భూమండలాన్ని ఆక్రమిస్తాడు. ఇతను ఆక్రమించి ఏం చేస్తాడంటే ఇతని యొక్క హెడ్ క్వార్టర్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా, అవి ప్రెసెంట్ డే పాకిస్తాన్ లో ఉంటది అనమాట, సరస్వతి నది పక్కన. అది చేసుకుని ఇతను రోజు యొక్క చర్యలు దీని గురించి చెప్తాడనమాట. అతనంత రాజు చక్రవర్తి అయినా కూడా అతను రోజు ఏం చేస్తాడనేది ఈ 3 or 4 శ్లోకాస్ లో వస్తాయి మనకి. ఓకే, తన డైలీ యాక్టివిటీస్ ఏంటంట ఈ 3, ఇప్పుడు మనం చదవబోయే 3 శ్లోకాలు చూడండి. అతను మొత్తం ప్రపంచాన్ని ఏలాలి, బట్ అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం అతను పర్సనల్ టైంలో ఏం చేస్తున్నాడు, హౌ ఈస్ హీ అటాచ్ బై డిస్క్రైబింగ్ అబౌట్ దిస్ 3 శ్లోకాస్. ఈ 3 శ్లోకాలు చదువుతూ అతను ఇండివిజువల్లీ ఏంటి, అతను రాజుగా ఏం చేశాడని చెప్తారనమాట యాక్చువల్లీ. ఓకేనా? సో ఎప్పుడైతే మనకి అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ గుర్తొస్తాడో అప్పుడు ఏం గుర్తు రావాలి మనకి? మెయిన్లీ యుక్త వైరాగ్యం. యుక్త వైరాగ్యం అనే ప్రిన్సిపల్ మనం ఎప్పుడు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలన్నమాట అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ గుర్తొస్తే. ఓకే, అందరికి అర్థమైంది ఇది? సో అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్ తండ్రి యొక్క పేరేంటి?
నాభాగ.
యుక్త వైరాగ్యం అంటే ఏంటి ప్రభు? యుక్త వైరాగ్యం అంటే మనం పనులు చేస్తూ వైరాగ్యంతో ఉంటాం, అంతేనా ప్రభు? ఇది నాది కాదు.
డూయింగ్ ద థింగ్స్ నెసెసరీ. మన స్వభావాన్ని బట్టి మనకి ఏదైతే మన శరీరం వచ్చిందో, మన మైండ్ ఇవన్నీ వచ్చినాయో దాని ప్రకారంగా మనం సేవ చేసుకోవాలి, దేనికి అటాచ్డ్ కాకుండా ఉండాలన్నమాట. ఓకే
ఓకే,
సో అది యుక్త వైరాగ్యం అంటే. సో అంబరీష్ ఈస్ ద పర్ఫెక్ట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆఫ్ దట్. అంబరీష్ కి క్వాలిటీ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది? భగవంతుడి యొక్క నామం, భగవంతుడి యొక్క దాంట్లో ధ్యానం చేస్తుండడం వల్ల వచ్చిందనమాట. ఓకే, అందుకే ఈయన భాగవతంలో ఇంత డిస్క్రిప్షన్ ఉంటుంది ఈయన గురించి. సో అంబరీష్ తండ్రి నాభాగ. ఓకే, నాభాగ తండ్రి ఎవరు? నభగ. ఓకేనా? ఈ నభగ తండ్రి ఎవరు?
వివస్వాన్.
వివస్వాన్. ఓకే, వివస్వాన్ని వైవస్వత మన్వంతరం అని కూడా అంటారు మనం. ఓకే, ఈ వివస్వాన్ అనే అతను మను అనమాట. ఓకే, మను అంటే ఏంటి అంటే యాక్చువల్లీ వీళ్ళు మగ ఆడ లింగం 2 కలిపి ఉంటారనమాట. వీళ్ళు
మ్యాన్ కైండ్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు కదా మను అంటే.
ఏంటి ప్రభు?
జీవులను క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు.
వీళ్ళకి ప్రొక్రియేషన్ కి ఆపోజిట్ సెక్స్ అక్కర్లేదు అనమాట.
ఓకే,
దే కెన్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ప్రొక్రియేట్. ఓకే, సో వాళ్ళు మను అంటాం వాళ్ళు. ఈ వివస్వాన్ అనే అతను సూర్యుడి యొక్క కొడుకు మను అనమాట. ఈయన కొడుకులు ఉన్నారు కదా, ఒకళ్ళు నభగ, అతని కొడుకు నాభాగ. ఆ నాభాగ కొడుకు
అంబరీష్.
ఎవరు? ఇప్పుడు మనం అంబరీష్ మహారాజ్. ఓకే, అంబరీష్ కాకుండా ఇంకొక 4 ఉంటారు ఈయనకి. నాభాగకి ఇంకొక 4 కొడుకులు ఉంటారు. వాళ్ళు చేసిన మోసం వల్ల ఇతనికి రాజ్యం రాదనమాట. కానీ ఇతను విష్ణుని ఆరాధించడం వల్ల మొత్తం చక్రవర్తి అయిపోతాడు ఈ ప్రపంచానికి. ఓకేనా? అతను చక్రవర్తి అయ్యి కూడా అతను చేసే దినచర్యలు ఏంటి అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం చదవబోయే 3 శ్లోకాలు అనమాట. ఓకేనా? సో ఫస్ట్ శ్లోకం నేను చదువుతాను, దాని యొక్క మీనింగ్ చెప్తాను. యాక్చువల్లీ ఇతన్ని యుక్త వైరాగ్యుడు అని ఎందుకంటారంటే దీని మీనింగ్ చెప్తాను. సవై మన కృష్ణ పదారవిందయోర్. సవై మన, దేర్ ఫోర్ ఇతను ఏం చేస్తాడంటే మనహ, అతని మనసు కృష్ణ పాదార విందయోర్, కృష్ణుడి యొక్క పాదాల దగ్గర ఎప్పుడు కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేస్తాడు అనమాట మనసుని, మైండ్ని. ఓకే, అతని హార్ట్ ఎప్పుడు ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది? కృష్ణుడి యొక్క పాదాల దగ్గర. ఓకే, వాచాంసి వైకుంఠ గుణానువర్ణనే. అతని నోరు ఉంటుంది చూసారా, వాచంస్ అంటే వర్డ్స్, ఎప్పుడు దేన్ని డిస్క్రైబ్ చేస్తాయంట? వైకుంఠ గుణానువర్ణనే. ఓకే, వైకుంఠ యొక్క గుణాలు అని. వైకుంఠవాసి ఎవరు? శ్రీ మహావిష్ణువు కదా. అతని యొక్క గుణాలని మొత్తం డిస్క్రైబ్ చేయడానికి అతను మాటలన్నీ వాడతాడు అనమాట. ఎప్పుడు కూడా కరౌ హరేర్ మందిర మార్జనాదిషు. మార్జనాదిషు అంటే క్లీనింగ్, క్లీనింగ్ అండ్ రిలేటెడ్ యాక్టివిటీస్ అన్నమాట. ఆదిషు అంటే ఆది, అత్యాది, ఇత్యాది అంటాం కదా మనం, ఆదిషు. ఓకే, అండ్ సో ఆన్. మార్జన అంటే ఏంటి? గుండీచా మార్జన అంటే ఏంటి? గుండీచా క్లీనింగ్. ఓకే, మందిర మార్జన అంటే ఏంటి? మందిరాన్ని క్లీనింగ్ చేయడం అన్నమాట. దేన్ని యూజ్ చేస్తాడు? కరౌ. కర అంటే హ్యాండ్స్. కరౌ హరేర్ మందిర మార్జనాదిషు. అర్థమైందా? చేతులు దేనికి పడతాడు? హరి యొక్క
టెంపుల్
ని క్లీన్ చేయడానికి, అత్యాది, ఇత్యాది మిగతా వాటి కోసం, ఆయన యొక్క సేవల కోసం, ఆ మందిరం యొక్క సేవల కోసం వాడతాడు అనమాట. పువ్వులు కోయడం, పువ్వులు పెంచడం, చెట్లు పెంచడం, ఇదే అతని పని యాక్చువల్లీ. ఓకేనా? శృతిం చకరాచ్యుత సత్కతోధయే. చెవులు ఉన్నాయి కదా, చెవులు ఎప్పుడు దేనికి వాడతారు తెలుసా? శృతిని వినడానికి. ఏం వినడానికి? అచ్యుత సత్కతోదయే. చకర అంటే చెవులు అనమాట. శృతిం అంటే వాయిస్. ఏ వాయిస్ లో వినడానికి వాడతారు దీన్ని ఎక్కువ? అచ్యుత సత్కతోదయే. అచ్యుతుడు యొక్క మంచి మంచి కథలను వినడానికి వాడతాడు అనమాట. ఓకేనా? సో ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఈ అంబరీష్ మహారాజు దేనికి వాడుతున్నాడు? ఫస్ట్ మనహ, మైండ్ ని దేనికి వాడుతున్నాడు?
కృష్ణుడి యొక్క
పాదార వింద. ఓకే, మన కృష్ణ పాదార వింద. అతని హార్ట్ ఎప్పుడు ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది? కృష్ణుడి యొక్క పాదాల దగ్గర ఉంటుంది అన్నమాట. ఓకే, వాచాంసి. వర్డ్స్ దేనికి వాడుతున్నాడు? నెక్స్ట్ వర్డ్ వైకుంఠ గుణాలు. ఓకే, వైకుంఠ వాసి యొక్క గుణాలను వర్ణించడానికి. కరవు హరేర్ మందిర మార్జనస్. చేతులు దేనికి వాడుతున్నాడు? కరవు అంటే చేతులు. హరేర్ మందిర మార్జనస్,
టెంపుల్ క్లీన్ చేయడానికి.
శృతిం చక్ర. చక్ర అంటే ఇయర్స్. దేనికి వాడుతున్నాడు? శృతిం అంటే హియరింగ్. దేని హియరింగ్? అచ్యుత సత్కతోదయి. ఓకే, అర్థమైందా? ఈ శ్లోకంలో చేస్తున్నాడన్నా మనస్సు, మాటలు, చేతులు, చెవులు. ఈ 4 దేనికి వాడుతున్నాడు? కృష్ణుడి యొక్క దేనికే వాడుతున్నాడు అనమాట. ఓకే, సో టుమారో వి విల్ స్టార్ట్ రిసైటింగ్ దిస్ వర్సెస్. మొత్తం 3 శ్లోకాలు అంతే. ఆయన వేరియస్ అంగాలు, శరీరంలో వేరు అంగాలు, దేవుణ్ణి ఎట్లా మనం కొలుస్తాం అనేది చెప్తాడు అనమాట మొత్తం. ప్రభు, Raju Prabhu, it's 9:30, so we will end it here. I will just recite this once and then we will end it here. Okay, na Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Tomorrow we'll practice here.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll start practicing. I'll just recite it once. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo vacham sivaikunda gunanu varnani karau harir mandira marjanadishu shrutim chakarachyuta satkatodhaye. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone for giving me this opportunity to, recite this verse. And Prabhuji, you can conclude the call as soon as possible. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu and Mother. Thank you for joining. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha pattanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaः. Ananta koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada book reading ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Leela ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu and Mataji. Dandavat pranams.